Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Kate Hamilton Health Podcast. So today's episode we are going to chat all things hormone balance. So this is going to be a solo one. I'm not chatting to anyone but myself or but you. We are going to talk through hormones. And I know there's so much noise online about this lately and balancing hormones and, PMS, PCOS, menopause, perimenopause. Like there's so much information out there. I do get as many people onto the podcast as possible to talk through these different topics. And I will be doing solo episodes on these in the coming weeks as well. So for today, I just kind of want to talk generally around the topic of hormones and what they do in your body, what's going on in your body, and what might cause things to become imbalanced and what we can do about it. So this will be a very general episode, but just give you some general tips and tricks. If you're feeling a little bit off, what might be going on, or even just, preventatively, you want to kind of keep an eye on things, making sure that you're kind of giving your body the best chances possible to have as healthy a balance of your hormones as possible. And obviously this is not replacement for medical advice, and we don't ever really know what's going on in our bodies unless we go to the doctor and we get bloods done and we find out exactly what's low, what's high, what we're deficient in, whatever it is. But so this is just more a general lifestyle approach kind of viewing it. So within our body, we have the endocrine system, and the endocrine system is where our glands are. They're made up of glands, and our different glands in our body is what produces our hormones. So I'm just going to talk through some of these glands now. Starting at the top of the body, we have the hypothalamus. This is the brain area coordinating hormone balance in the body. So this is up the top of your head. Your pineal gland, which is also in your brain, is responsible for controlling circadian rhythm and produces the hormone melatonin. So this is extremely important for sleep and, regular sleep patterns. Your pituitary gland, which is also in your brain, is responsible for controlling the hormone releasing glands across the body. So like your brain really is the headquarters of it all. Then as we move further down the body, we have the thyroid gland, which a lot of people will have heard of, which is in the throat area, responsible for controlling the body's metabolism. Your thymus gland a little bit further down, which is near your heart, it's in your upper chest, responsible for producing a number of hormones that regulate our immune system. The adrenal glands down at our kidneys, then the hormone cortisol is produced here, which as we all know is our stress hormone. Our pancreas, this is where insulin is produced. Then our sex glands, if we're talking about females, we are talking about ovaries. This is where estrogen and progesterone are produced. And what I really love about the endocrine system and the different glands, as a yogi, these very, very much align with the 7 chakras. And this is why yoga is so effective, because it is a great way of balancing these glands and clearing them, putting a little bit of pressure on them, releasing the energy that will be stuck in the different glands. So anyone who's familiar with yoga will know, the 7 chakras: the crown, the third eye, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root chakras. Okay, so they're the 7 chakras, and that's head down to toe again. So if we look at the crown chakra, which is at the top of our head, is in the same place as our pineal gland. Our third eye is in the same place as our pituitary gland. Our throat chakra is in the same place as our thyroid gland. Our heart chakra, thymus gland, solar plexus, pancreas, sacral, ovaries or testes, and our root chakra, adrenal glands. So it's just interesting because a yoga flow and yoga postures, it's such an ancient practice that's been around for a very long time that helps to regulate everything within our body. And it's just a really, really interesting observation. Obviously, we're going to talk more kind of down the actual endocrine system rather than we're not going to go down a yoga route. But I just wanted to kind of note those connections, if that makes sense. So hormones, what are hormones? So hormones are chemical messengers, and these chemical messengers must work together for you to experience good health. So when one hormone is imbalanced, it has a domino effect and it will knock all the other ones off too. This can have a huge effect not only on how you feel, but also if we are talking about fat loss, for effective fat loss, this can actually have a huge effect. So what causes hormonal imbalances? Before I get into what causes hormonal imbalances, I just want to say that I'm talking very generally here. I'm not talking about perimenopause. I'm not talking about PCOS. I am talking about, someone who is not at perimenopause yet, who might be experiencing hormonal imbalances, who has not been diagnosed or doesn't think that they have something along the lines of PCOS, that they're just a little bit off balance, a little bit flat, and thinks that their lifestyle might be causing how they feel. So that's what we're talking about here when I talk about what's causing hormonal imbalances. Obviously, if you think there's something going on, you should always go to the doctor and just get checked out, get your bloods done, find out what's going on. 100%. But what can cause hormonal imbalances is chronic stress. So a lot of us are walking around stress heads and we don't even fucking know we're stressed. It's just we're so used to it, we don't even know. Excess body fat can cause hormonal imbalances. An inflammatory diet. So a lot of us, anyone who's eating a diet that's high enough in processed foods or alcohol, this is going to be inflammatory and can be causing strain on your hormones. A sedentary lifestyle where you don't sweat often, so you're not getting your heart rate up, you're not sweating. Basically, you're not moving your body on a regular basis. This can cause some issues, and toxins in the environment as well, which can feel a little bit out of our control. But let's just focus on what we can control. So symptoms of hormonal imbalances might be feeling stressed, acne, thinning or hair loss, constipation or diarrhea, deepening of your voice, breast tenderness, weight gain, irregular or painful periods, difficulty sleeping, facial hair, body hair, decreased sex drive, depression, headaches, changes in blood pressure, vaginal dryness, to name a few. A lot of these are going to be symptoms of perimenopause, different conversation altogether. But if you're experiencing some of those and you're like, Jesus, I'm only 31 and I shouldn't be going through perimenopause yet, but my lifestyle is pretty shit at the minute. Some of these things could be resolved by making adjustments to your lifestyle. Again, I always think before we kind of resign it to fixing the lifestyle, it's always no harm to just go and get checked out and just make sure there's not something else going on, because you could be deficient in something or too high in something as well. So that's also important. So how food and hormones are connected. So what you eat actually has a huge impact on your hormones. Okay, so obviously the more processed foods you're eating, the more strain that's going to put in your body and on your hormones. The more healthy whole foods you're eating, the more invigorated your body's going to feel and your hormones are going to be in a much better place. Different hormones respond to different foods. For example, highly processed sugary foods will have a negative impact on the hormone insulin, for example. Too much coffee will have a negative impact on cortisol, which negatively impacts your sleep through dysregulated melatonin. So, you can see that it is a domino effect, really. But we will go through all of this in a little bit more detail in coming episodes as I kind of dive into different areas a little bit more deeply, and we'll take it from there. But for now, what I want you to just think of, I want you to just do a little kind of review of your lifestyle. How is your stress? How is your sleep? How is your food quality? Are you eating regularly? Are you eating enough? Are you eating too much? Are you eating too much processed food? Are you eating enough whole foods? Thinking about all of these things. Are you moving your body every day? Start there, okay? Because it can be absolute magic when you make these small changes, can make a huge difference. Now, not always, as I said, and I will keep saying it through this episode. If you think there's anything else underlying there, just go get checked out. Like I go to the doctor once a year, get bloods done anyway, just to make sure that everything's okay, that I'm not deficient in anything. There's nothing popping up in my bloods or my blood pressure that I need to keep an eye on. So, it's really important to do those regular checks as well. But doing this lifestyle kind of review will be hugely helpful. And then for now, just do this. Stick to as much healthy whole foods as you can. Reduce the processed food you're eating. And I'm not saying get rid of it altogether, but thinking about that 80-20 rule, 80% good quality, healthy whole foods, 20% or less of the processed foods, and keeping that balance in place. And that'll slip. We're all human, but just keeping an eye on that and pulling it back to that. Drinking plenty of water. Last episode was all about water. I went through all the reasons why we need to drink enough water. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. So important. Prioritize your sleep. Like, the older we get, I know it says the older you get, the less sleep you need. I think that's bullshit. I don't know. I'm pushing 40 and I cannot function on less than 7 hours sleep. I just can't. I'm just an emotional mess. Now, I know every individual is different, but it is scientifically proven that we need 7 to 9 hours sleep as an adult. Whether it's 7 or whether it's 9 will depend on the person, but you really do have to prioritize it, set up that healthy sleep routine, get the phones out of the beds. That's the one thing I'll say. So when you go to bed, you're going to sleep, and make sure the quality of the sleep that you're getting is as good as possible, and move your body every day. It really doesn't need to be complicated. Just go for a walk every day. If you hate walking, go for a swim, go for a cycle, go to a dance class. It doesn't matter. I always say walk because it's the one that doesn't cost anything. You don't need a bicycle to do it. You don't, that for most people, it'll be the easiest, most accessible one, obviously. Depending on any limitations that people have, then other forms of exercise may be what needs to be done. It totally depends on the person, but just move your body every day. Whether that is the gym, whether that's walking, whether it's classes, whether it's yoga, we're not meant to be sedentary. Move your body every day. Start there. And if you do that every day from when you've listened to this episode to when we zone in a little bit more closely into the different hormones, the different kind of issues that arise, see if it's made a difference. And I always love hearing these things. So if you found this episode helpful, again, this is short, sweet, to the point. I like to keep the solo episodes short enough because, you must all be sick of listening to me at this stage, to be fair. So I like to keep it short, to the point, for you to be able to take something actionable from this. I hope you found it helpful. Please do share it with your friends, get it in your WhatsApp groups, pop it on your stories, tag me, and do leave a comment below if you enjoyed, because I do read them. I really do enjoy hearing what you thought of the episodes and if you found them helpful or not. And thank you so much, as always, for listening. And I will talk to you all next time.